With Rainbow Six Siege's most recent Pro League major coming to a close, Ubisoft announced the newest season coming to Siege, Operation New Blood. There was a lot of hype for this season after Deadly Omen's amazing amount of content. However, this season is a terrible disappointment. It was so bad, in fact, that the live audience at the reveal booed during its announcement. So, in today's video, I'll be going through the patch notes for the next season and giving you my honest thoughts on everything that's coming. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, the best thing that is coming in Operation New Blood is the balancing changes coming to Fenrir and Solace, which they are both getting nerfed. Fenrir is losing access to one of his dread mines, and he's also losing access to one of his activation tokens, and his mines will no longer be bulletproof. However, he will regain his tokens when a mine is destroyed, meaning that one of his mines getting destroyed no longer matters as much. And then on top of this, he's losing access to barbed wire, and it's getting replaced with observation blockers. Fenrir was in desperate need of a nerf. He was by far the most banned defender on the defense, and a lot of people found him extremely annoying. I think that this is a good start. I think this will hurt Fenrir a decent amount because being able to bring an operator like Twitch and just destroy all of his dread mines extremely easily will be a nice plus. But I do think they might have to return to Fenrir and nerf him even more in the future because of the fact that he gets his tokens back after one of his mines is destroyed. I feel like giving him that ability somewhat makes up for the nerf, and so we'll just have to see how this plays out in game. But the Solace nerf is even stronger than the Fenrir nerf. Solace's gadget is no longer going to be available during the prep phase. The duration of her sensor is going to be reduced to 10 seconds, and the detection range of her gadget is reduced all the way down to 12 meters. And her gadget will have to be at full charge to be able to activate, meaning that you have to wait for the entire 10-second cooldown to finish before you can use her gadget again. And then on top of it all, she's losing access to impact grenades, which is going to make it a lot harder for her to use her gadget to deny the diffuser and to just make aggressive plays off of her gadget. This is an insane nerf, and it will make Solace a lot more fair to go against. I don't even know if she'll be meta after this nerf because her radius is extremely small now, but we'll just have to see when it goes on the live build. Overall though, I'm very happy with these two balancing changes because they were desperately necessary. And another amazing balancing change that's coming in Operation New Blood is the barbed wire buff. Barbed wire now, when you walk through it, is going to deal 5 HP worth of damage every second. This means that if you try to full sprint through barbed wire, you're going to get at least 15 damage dealt to you. I think this is a good buff because it's going to slow down the attackers and it's going to force them to actually deal with barbed wire instead of just walking through it like you could before, especially if there's two sets of barbed wire on a single staircase or hallway. So I'm definitely looking forward to this balancing change because any change that forces the attackers or defenders to slow down and use their utility is a good change in my opinion. Another thing coming in Operation New Blood is the Marketplace release. Marketplace will be available to everyone. It will no longer be a beta access thing, meaning that as long as your account is level 25 and it has two-factor authentication enabled, you'll be able to sell and buy skins on the marketplace. This is a good change, but since the marketplace has already been out for a lot of people already, I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's not really new content. It's just making content that was already available to a wider audience. I love the marketplace and I use it all the time. It's one of my favorite features that Ubisoft has added recently, but this isn't really new. It's been here for a while. And then another really solid change coming in Operation New Blood is the map filter changes. Now in standard, you're going to be able to choose between 3 different map filters, those being the ranked map pool, the non-ranked map pool, and then all maps, meaning that you get to dictate what kind of maps you're playing, whether you're wanting to play a little bit more competitive and choose the ranked maps, or whether you want to play a more casual experience and just play the casual maps. I think this is a fun change and I'm happy they did it. I just wish they would have allowed you to pick certain maps that you wanted to play or just pick out the maps that you wanted to queue for instead of having to choose between different filters, but this is a step in the right direction. Another pretty solid change coming is the addition of the endless drill mode. This is basically the replacement for T-Hunt that Ubisoft has developed. If you've ever played training drills, what these are, they're basically training modes that you can play on any map in Siege. And when you play them, there will be dummies placed around the map that you can shoot at varying stance levels, which allows you to train your aim. Endless drill is basically going to be that, but it lasts forever and you can run around the map as long as you want and just constantly practice your aim on these dummies. This is really cool and I'm happy they're adding it because we needed some form of replacement for T-Hunt. The only thing I hope is that Ubisoft will allow you to play this mode while queuing for ranked. If they ever add that into the game, that would be even better because then you're going to be able to train while queuing for ranked. But we'll just have to see if Ubisoft ends up doing that at some point. Now, the first bad thing that's coming in Operation New Blood, in my opinion, is the stadium reworks. To replace a map or a map rework, this season Ubisoft is adding Stadium Alpha and Stadium Bravo back into the game with some additional changes. They removed the bulletproof glass on the outside of the maps to make the maps more fair for the defense, and they added some doorways and changed some rooms around. Me personally, I do not like this addition, and the reason for it is because, first of all, Stadium Bravo is going to be a boring map whether they remove the outside glass or not, because the map is still full of metal and wooden floors, meaning that anywhere you move on the map, you're going to make a crap ton of noise. So these maps, you don't have to bring any traps or anything because you just know where the attackers are coming from at all times. And then I also think it's a bad change simply for the fact that Ubisoft spent development time on this when they could have been spending it on something else, because Stadium Bravo and Stadium Alpha are going to be added just to quick match and nothing else. And in my opinion, Ubisoft should only be putting development resources towards things that are going to affect ranked or the competitive side of the game. I think overall this is just a waste of time, and I also don't think most people are going to like playing these maps in casual anyway, because I see people leave Stadium Bravo matches all the time in quick match. But we'll just have to see how this plays out on the live build, I guess. Now, arguably the most disappointing change in this entire patch is the recruit rework, because this is barely a rework. What Ubisoft decided to do for the recruits is turn them into operators that you could actually play in ranked. So this means you'll no longer be able to bring 5 recruits at a time, and the defender and the attacker were given special names, and they also have customization like uniforms, headgears, and card backgrounds. They also changed the weapon loadouts around on the attacker and the defender. They gave the attacker named Striker the M4 and M249 as primary weapons, and then the 5.7 USG and ITA-12S shotgun as the secondary weapons, and then they gave Sentry, the defender, access to the Commando 9 SMG, the MA-70 shotgun, the C-75 auto submachine gun, and the Super Shorty. And all of these weapons will be customizable, meaning that you can change their attachments, change their weapon skins, and change their charms. And then on top of that, Ubisoft decided to allow the recruits to pick any secondary gadget combo that they wanted. The only restriction is that they can't pick 2 of the same secondary gadget. Now, if you know anything about the previous recruit, this sounds a lot like him. The only difference between the old recruits and the new recruits coming in this new operation is the fact that the new recruits will be able to pick any secondary gadget combination. That's the only difference. A lot of people assumed that when Ubisoft announced that recruit was getting a rework, that we were going to be getting a new gadget with this rework, myself included. And so I was looking forward to this patch because I thought we were going to be getting what felt like 2 new operators, but instead we're just getting some slight tweaks to the recruit. So basically this operation's main source of content can barely be counted as content because it's just a slight minor change to already existing content. And what makes this even worse, and what's causing so many people to have outrage with this season, is the fact that Ubisoft announced a membership that is going to be replacing the year pass. Now, instead of being able to buy the year pass and get all of the operators, all of the battle passes, and a unique skin and charm, you're now going to have to pay a monthly fee for a subscription. All this subscription gives you is it gives you access to all the battle passes. It gives you access to a Ash bundle with additional R6 credits to go along with it when you first sign up. And throughout the year, as you stay subscribed for longer, you'll get access to a legendary skin bundle, and you'll get access to epic skin bundles every month. Basically, Ubisoft is trying to copy the Fortnite membership system and add it into Siege. However, the reason why people are getting so mad at this membership is because it's going to be close to 3 times what the year pass was. For the average player, it really does not make sense to pay for the subscription, considering that you're getting the battle passes for way more money, and you're just getting some additional operator skins to try to make up for that cost. I really do hope Ubisoft sees all the backlash they're getting from this membership and they try to add more to it, but we'll just have to see. If people end up subscribing to the subscription and a lot of people end up signing up for it, then Ubisoft probably won't change anything about it. And the announcement of this membership is extremely tone deaf as well, because this season is one of the most lacking seasons when it comes to new content compared to seasons we've gotten in the past. The only operations I can really think of that kind of compare to this is maybe Operation Vector Glare and Operation Brutal Swarm. This season really just has no content whatsoever. And so Ubisoft announcing a subscription to go along with the lack of content in the season, and to go along with the fact that the game is just being overrun by cheaters and they're not really announcing anything to solve that, this membership was obviously going to get backlash from the get-go. And to be honest, that's my #1 disappointment with this season. Ubisoft has not announced any way they're going to be addressing the cheating problem. The only thing they really did during the reveal panel is show statistics that their ban rates have increased, so they're banning more cheaters. But of course, Ubisoft is going to be banning more cheaters when the cheating problem is the worst it's ever been. There's way more cheaters in the game, so obviously Ubisoft is going to see an uptick in their banning stats. Ubisoft needs to find a way to address this cheating problem now, because a lot of people are starting to leave the game because of it. And it's also just a bad look for the game in general, because Year 9 has brought a ton of new people back to the game, and now they're having to deal with cheaters constantly. And if that continues to occur, all those new players that we gain back with Year 9 are just going to start bleeding away. We'll have to see what Ubisoft has in store in the future, but I'm really not looking forward to this season whatsoever, because it doesn't address anything that I was hoping they would address, and there's also just no real content. Anyways, that about wraps up today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are on Operation New Blood in the comments down below. I know there's going to be a lot of mixed thoughts on it, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. If you enjoyed today's video, I make Siege content just like this twice a week, so go subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't want to miss the next upload. If you want to watch another video just like this one, it'll be popping up on your screen right now that I'm sure you'll enjoy. I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.